Hello everyone. We have a interesting comparison today, to say the least, in my opinion. This is Rafael Brandao and Chris Bumstead. Of course, Chris Bumstead, we all know, he is the classical physique champion, the Classic Physique IFBB current champion. Rafael Brandao, in my opinion and from my view, he is struggling in the open class. He has a classical physique. He's much leaner than a lot of the open guys. He placed 7th, I believe it was, 6th or 7th or 7th or 8th maybe even, at the Arnold Classic last year. And he battles continuously. He placed 2nd to Juan Morel. And let's face it, Juan Morel's not exactly a ball of fire in the open class. So, could Rafael Brandao easily drop some weight and defeat Chris Bumstead? Well, many think that they could with their physiques, but you lose the weight and you lose your physique. You lose your style, your design, your lines, your shape. Chris Bumstead never was a man to hit a standard front relaxed position. Of course, that is classical physique. So no symmetry round. Today, let's go into start with the front double bicep pose. And you can definitely see Chris Bumstead, he lacks that lag size. But of course, that would be one thing that I would agree that these guys need to lose is the lag size. I believe that Rafael could maintain this upper body and lose some lag size. Of course, Chris Bumstead, look at that flow, those lats. But it's more about that vacuum. Both men with a nice vacuum, but Chris Bumstead takes the cake in that end. But we're discussing whether or not Rafael Brandao should drop. He would be more of a name. I believe he would get more revenue, more money, I think. Not making much in the open class as we speak. But I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have in the back of their minds that Rafael Brandao could someday win the Olympia. Wishful thinking, perhaps. Front lat spread is a fantastic pose for both men. I mean, Chris Bumstead, one of his best poses, if not his best shot. But Rafael Brandao actually filled out a little bit more in this shot. Talk about classical. This Rafael Brandao, he could stand to lose a few inches in the legs. I mean, maintain that upper body. That would be a classic physique in my opinion. Now, side chest, I would give Chris Bumstead the edge as far as the name, classical physique. He's just hitting it more like the guys from the 70s, I guess. And I'm sure 90% of you think of the guys from the 70s when you think of the classical physique. Definitely see some inches in those legs of Rafael Brandao. That's a lot of the weight is there. Look at the size of his hamstrings, my word. Definitely a hungry lion in the open class as far as the shot is concerned. But anyway, he would need to change it up, I think, if he were to join the classical physique, or enter, rather. Side tricep. This resembles the side chest, in my opinion. Bumstead really nailed the classic look in both of these side shots. All I can see is chest and just a small, tiny waistline, that nice vacuum. This is the way you should hit the shots in the Classic Physique division. Rafael Brandao definitely would have to switch his up to even come close to this Chris Bumstead. I even like the legs, the way he's crouched down, Bumstead. Let's have a look at the back developments. And of course, this is the only back shot. There is no rear lat spreads. In the Classic Physique division, it's obvious to me that Rafael Brandao, much more thickness in the lats, much more thickness in the legs, everything. But genetically speaking, Chris Bumstead has a lower lat insertion. Now take a look at their legs. This is what is important to me, and I'd like to get this out there. A lot of these classic physique guys, they're spreading their legs too much, like an open class guy. Look at Rafael Brandao, the space between his legs, half than that of Chris Bumstead's. Now, this is not exactly what I'm looking for, but it is much, much, much better. Of course, I'm one small voice in a field of many, many voices. If we could get that out there, these guys need to snap these shots, these rear shots, like they did in the 70s. You don't need to go like a spider. You need to go like an umbrella and get the calves bigger. It would help with the base of the physiques. Ab and thigh shot, much better pose for Chris Bumstead. I'm surprised. For an aesthetic bodybuilder, Rafael Brandao, he really needs to do something about this ab and thigh. I don't know, there's no deep cuts. Perhaps he's not training his abs as much as he could be, as much as he should be, like all the modern day open class competitors. Chris Bumstead, look at those fine cuts and that flat as a pancake ab setup. Wow, what a waistline. Now that's classical, if you ask me. So there is the most muscular, but I'm not even sure if this is a mandatory shot in the classical physique division. They all hit it though. They all snap this pose. Chris Bumstead, he is hitting a version of a classical version of a most muscular, but it just doesn't suit his physique. I don't know. Short biceps. Something to do with that, I think. Now, Rafael Brandao, he could really pull off this pose if he did some tweaking, some classical notebook, get into his notebook and take some notes down and hit all of his shots classically. And I'm telling you, this guy could win that division for sure. He could defeat Chris Bumstead. And there you have it. I think you guys could be the judge of who you think was better in this competition. I wasn't really judging it per se. In my opinion, this would be an exciting addition to the classical physique division, this Rafael Brandao, as well as a Partick Moore, but we're not going to discuss him today. But there's several other dudes that could go down. But if they go down, they could bring the classical physique division up, and it would make it much more exciting to watch. Good for the IFBB altogether. And more importantly, good for Rafael Brandao. Plus, I think with the competition, would be even good for Chris Bumstead. An excellent little comparison here to finish this off with. Now take a look at their waistlines if you ever want to know the difference between open class and classical physique division. These are two classical waistlines for sure. Hope you enjoyed this fun little comparison. Hit thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you have not already. Have a great day, guys.